Nicholas Borneos of Capital Link. On behalf of Capital Link, I'd like to thank you all for being with us today. It's the 19th annual Capital Link International Shipping Forum we are hosting in New York. It's a great conference, and we appreciate everybody who is here to make it a great event. I'd like to thank both the New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq for their cooperation and partnership. We have Irina Radman from the head of listings of Nasdaq, and we also have Chris Taylor, who is the global head of listings and chief development officer for the New York Stock Exchange, and of course Stefan Jekyll, head of listings. So without any further delay, I'd like to invite Chris Taylor to thank him very much for his friendship and partnership, and he will make the introductory remarks.
Excellent. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Great seeing so many familiar faces here. First off, a round of applause and congratulations to Nicholas and Olga. 19 years of this conference. Really an incredible the public markets are really important to us at the New York Stock Exchange and to our colleagues at the Nasdaq as well. We love the public markets. Events like this, bringing public companies together with buy-side investors, sell-side analysts, their lawyers and other counselors, is really, really critical to the public market ecosystem. The private markets has expanded so dramatically over the last 25 years that we need to start talking about how important it is to be in the public. The best disclosure around the world, the best access to capital, and it's universal investment for the institutional investors that are here today and also for retail investors. The NYSE is so proud of our listed company community, 2,400 companies from 48 countries around the world, including 29 companies in the marine transportation space. So thank you all. I want to call out the NYSE listed companies that I know are here today and participating here today. So BW LPG, Coolco, Dorian, Scorpio Tankers, Ardmore Shipping, International Seaways, Navios Maritime, 10 Limited, Navigator Gas, Safe Bulkers, who we'll see on Friday ringing the closing bell with the president of Cyprus. Can't wait to see you on Friday afternoon. And a very special call out as well to Diana Shipping, who will ring the closing bell tomorrow to celebrate 20 years being in the public markets. So I'd like to call up the CEO real quickly, Semiramis. Oh, come on up. There she is. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon as well.
So very quickly, a big thank you to the New York Stock Exchange. Chris, thank you very much for having us on your stock exchange for the last 20 years. It's been great. It's been a great journey for Diana Shipping. The platform has helped us grow, gain visibility to a pool of international investors and capital. So for that, we are ever grateful. We look forward to the next 20 years together. Thank you, Chris.
And whether the market is up or down tomorrow, we will celebrate 20 years of being at the New York Stock Exchange. So it is time to get to the good stuff, the keynote speaker today. So without further ado, I'd like to call up Mr. Evangelos Marinakis, founder and chair of Capital Maritime Trading Corp. Evangelos.
So I'm happy to be here today with all of you. We have seen also many friends over the years that who hadn't seen each other for quite some time, but we started, let's say, together around the early 90s, so it was a pleasant surprise to see them and see that they are still strong and healthy and doing well in business. So basically, what we see after the US elections and the new administration of Mr. Trump government since January. We see a lot of changes or a lot of announcements and discussions for various matters around the world that makes our life more complicated, but also at the same time much more interesting, because in shipping we like or we take advantage or all these geopolitical events, and of course when there is uncertainty, I think that at the end of the day works for shipping either in short terms, but in the long term for sure will have some benefits. And it depends, of course, how the entrepreneurs sees it and analyze it and have a strategy because of all this. Anyway, my personal opinion for whatever that means is that, of course, we will have to face many challenges, and especially as far as the tariffs are concerned, because now the discussions that we hear and follow is not only for China, but there is tariffs for EC, there is tariffs for other countries in the world, and of course all these have direct effects in shipping because of the transportation of goods. In my opinion, I think that in the short term we'll see some negative impact, but I don't think that it's sustainable to go on for many years with this sort of restrictions. And I think that the other thing, of course, that worries us is what will happen in reality with the Chinese-built tonnage, because we're not talking only about ships that they belong to Chinese owners, but especially in the last 10 years, 15 years, the way that the shipbuilding industry is developing, owners had no choice but to go to China to consider building in China for two reasons. First of all, because of the capacity. Secondly, because of the competitive pricing. And thirdly, that the truth is that Chinese yards have improved their quality, and in many occasions we see that certain yards standards is close to Korean or even Japanese. Therefore, a lot of owners, listed companies, private companies around the world have built a number of ships in China, and at the moment, even in various negotiations, either on period or even short period, we see that charterers try to avoid Chinese tonnage, and they use that either to negotiate a better rate, or they are really afraid of how things can be developed, and especially for cargoes that are transported in and out of United States. They don't want to take the risk. If this continues to carry on, we're going to have a two-tier market, and of course, at the end of the day, the consumer will have to pay the price, because the delivered, let's say, price for the commodity will be higher, especially for the products that they come in the States or even going out of States with ships that they are not built in China. I think that this can last for a while, even more than all of us would like to think. And what we're going to do from our side, because we have a combined fleet of over 140 vessels, in some of them in a listed company, most of them in our private company, is to trade them outside the United States as long as this restriction goes on. On the other hand, what we see is that, of course, the economic situation in Europe is not very good, and as far as the future is concerned, we see that the recession is coming. Of course, we had similar discussions or predictions even before COVID that we're entering a recession, but with what happened in COVID and the last, let's say, 5 years, because time is passing quite quickly, all this was postponed, and we saw also that a lot of industries and various industries, they took advantage of what was going on during COVID, and a lot of companies had record profits. And shipping was one of these industries that, especially in the container sector, that and in dry cargo, that took advantage of the COVID period, and we saw record prices paid for freights transporting containers. And of course, this reflected in the dry cargo market. Also, as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, that reflected also in the tanker business, and again, we saw freight rates that they were extremely high, and we saw some very prosperous, let's say, market for a while. And of course, we had also the other war down in Israel, and we saw what happens also with the Suez Canal, and of course, that had a real impact in our business and in the freight rates. And on the other side, also we saw that also Panama Canal had its problems with the draft, and of course it was a time that we hadn't seen before, that both canals were not operable, and of course that reflected positively in the market. And but all this at one stage will be normalized, and will not have this advantage for the years to come. In any case, our predictions and our strategy going forward is that we'll continue to modernize the fleet and be extremely conscious as far as the emissions and all announcements for the environment that have taken place, and the new regulations of IMO even though with the Trump administration, of course, a lot of things, a lot of these laws or regulations, as far as United States is concerned, will not be going ahead. But we think that we need to be committed in reducing emissions and be conscious for the environments for the years to come. So even though we pay a premium of building more eco ships and also dual fuel, that we think that for quite some time will be an interim, less pollutive, let's say, energy that will use for our ships. Even though we haven't seen charterers or oil majors or liner companies, because we also expanded our new building activity in dual fuel in containers. We haven't seen the premiums paid, but we take a long-term view of the market, and we think that eventually will work. I think the key is to be financially strong, to be able to wait for the cycle to come back. And I think that eventually, especially in Europe, in EEC, these regulations will go ahead, and when we'll compare ships with, let's say, the dual fuel LNG estimation, as far as the benefit that we'll have from the emissions, and also when eventually the war between Russia and Ukraine will end, and we hope that this will happen even within this year, and the gas prices will go down, then we'll have a significant saving impact trading the vessels with LNG, not only from the emissions point of view, but also financially with a cheaper consumption that will work financially well. So I think that a lot of things that we could ever imagine that will take place, they might, and we think that this cannot happen, let's say, with China, or this cannot happen with Russia, or between Israel and Palestine. I think that the years to come, they will be very interesting, and we might see developments that at the end of the day, as I said, will work in favor of shipping and in favor of our companies. But in the short term, we might have to suffer or to wait until the situation is normalized. But saying again that all these up and downs and all these geopolitical changes, at the end of the day, I think help our industry. Another thing that we wanted to mention is that as far as the European economies are concerned, what I had said 3 years ago when the war started between Russia and Ukraine is that all this sanction strategy from EEC at the end of the day didn't work, and the party that was really penalized was the European citizens, the European consumers. Basically, what we could see is that oil from Russia was, and still, they export to China and to India at very big discounts. And on the other hand, we have the European countries buying products from Indian and Chinese refineries at record high prices. So that means that even though that we see this embargo with Russia, because of the price difference, Russia receives even more money than it was receiving before. The Indians and refineries and the Chinese refineries are making record profits, and all this is paid by the European consumer, the European citizens, and we have the economies suffering in Europe, and I think that this didn't work, and will be one of the reasons that recession is unavoidable in Europe. And I think that the Trump administration, as far as the Ukraine, the Russian and Ukraine war, is doing the right thing, because the last 3 years we didn't see a serious move from Europe to try to stop this war. And of course, with wars, we have a lot of innocent people, innocent children dying. And in this case now with Ukraine and Russia, after 3 years, there is no point whatsoever this to continue. It's insane and should stop immediately. That's my personal views as far as the economic situation in Europe, as far as the future forward in shipping, and what I need to wish to everybody here is at least to be strong and healthy, and being strong and healthy, you can navigate crises, you can enjoy the challenges every day, and at the end of the day, to try to do your best for our companies, for our unit holders, for the future. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Mr. Marinakis for his very insightful remarks. And I'd like also to thank Marshall Islands for being the lunch sponsor, and Theo Xanakoudis is going to say a few words.
Yeah, I know everybody's hungry, so I'm going to be real fast. Thank you all for coming here today. Thank you to Olga and Nicholas for a very well-organized conference one more time, and especially on behalf of the registry, of the Marshall Islands Registry, we're really proud and happy to sponsor and support Capital Link in New York and different places. And of course, the lunch that you did today, which you always, in the lunch, you always honor and recognize leading shipowners and personalities like Mr. Marinakis today. So for us, it's an honor. Before I close, I have to say that our team is here, and of course, one of the partners and the president of the company, Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Bill Gallagher, and the rest of our team. So I know everybody is hungry. Enjoy your lunch, and thank you very much.